This is Yu-Gi-Oh! The Sacred Cards. Welcome to the Low Effort channel, where I make low effort videos on small PP type of games for those who love gaming, but don't have a whole lot of time to do so. Today's game being Yu-Gi-Oh! The Sacred Cards. Yu-Gi-Oh! The Sacred Cards is a traditional styled Yu-Gi-Oh! Game following the story of the series Battle City arc. You know, the one with Kaiba's tournament, odd filler arcs and Merrick's dark side going all like oh goody! The game spawns you in right at the start of Kaiba's tournament, and after a bunch of snooze-fest dialogue, the goal is honestly pretty simple. Beat the show's main characters to obtain 6 locator cards in order to receive an invite to the tournament's super secret final location, aka Kaiba's fucking island, where the winner will be decided via a playoff bracket. Doing this is done by some pretty clear-cut old school Yu-Gi-Oh! Even a dumbass like me can understand. And there aren't very many difficult summons or incredibly complicated monster and spell effects. It mostly boils down to high attack beats low attack, use power up to receive an additional 500 attack, or nuke the field in case of an emergency. Sure, there are some additional effects that'll stun the enemy, clone a monster, let you draw a card, but they're all very easy effects to understand and master, no matter the level of noob, and that applies to you. Same applies to tribute monsters, the 1s and 2s indicating the amount of tributes needed to get it on the field. I mean, there are a couple of ritual monsters in this bitch, but they really aren't something you want or need anyway. What differentiates this thing from the usual Yuugs is the Pokemon-esque elemental system, allowing you to absolutely hard counter some fools. Every single card has a certain typing assigned to them that has the typing it always beats and the typing it always loses to, no matter the stat differential. Water beats fire, loses to electric. Forest beats wind, loses to fire. Light beats fiend, loses to... Why am I explaining the most well-known battle gimmick known to mankind again? The only exception to the rule are the divine monsters that have no strengths nor weaknesses, but are also hella goofy to summon, so fuck 'em honestly. So yeah, a newborn baby can understand what's going on in this one, and while the typings aren't really explained anywhere, it'll take some common sense alongside trial and erroring for about, I don't know, 30 minutes to get the hang of it. It's easy to understand, and just as easy to master. This game, it's so fucking easy, man. Every time I play this game, I understand the chain reaction of players bitching to Konami, and Konami creating an okay go fuck yourself game, in response to just that. By the time I obtained my 4th locator card, I had lost about 10 cards tops due to elemental disadvantages and taken a grand total of 0 life points of damage. The game gives you a bunch of okay monsters and Yuugs in a dark hole for whatever reason, but the enemies are given the absolute bottom of the jar, especially in the first leg of the game. Like, get your 300 attack monsters out of my face and stop wasting my time, man. Well, they're not even wasting my time, honestly. The game works with deck capacity and the duelist level. The duelist level equaling the max value or cost of a card you're allowed to use, and the deck capacity equaling the max allowed value or cost of all 40 cards in your deck combined. Both of these are powered up by beating up enemies. And it's a lot. Locator card guardians get you 30 capacity, while the normie noob NPCs get you 5. The duelist level doesn't get nearly as much, but the deck capacity jumping up this much essentially means you can buff up your deck at a lightning fast pace. And like, the fuck's the shopkeeper even cooking, man? Motherfuckers selling invisible wire, Raigeki, a monster reborn, heavy storm from the get-go. And for dirt cheap too. 60? For this? Nah, mate. The game tickles your cheeks in every way imaginable, making it so that only final raid boss Malik Blishtar with his cool ass fucking deck can put up some sort of a fight. Man, what? Well, that is true for the most part, unless Umbra pulls this thing out of his ass. Even with that type of occasional tomfoolery, I just stuffed my deck full of explosives and effect monsters and breezed through the game in about 4 hours. Not even the enemy cheat fields boosting up their dominant monster type while powering down others was enough to stop me. Power up your fiend, homies, all you want. My 400 attack powered down Hourglass of Life still clears. Yu-Gi-Oh! The Sacred Cards isn't a challenge for anybody. But there's a reason I've kept coming back to this thing over and over. I love this game. Every single thing making this game as easy as it is also what makes it as fun to me. The sheer amount of available cards early on, as well as the game throwing both deck capacity and stacks of money at you at the speed of light, provide you with the tools and the freedom to build just about anything. It's like a Minecraft creative mode type experience, where I just come back to this game to build something stupid and then see how well it really plays out. And me, personally, I believe there's a bit of value in that. Not as much as an actual challenge, but value nonetheless. I mean, what other game would allow me to build around goddamn Barrel Dragon? doesn't change the fact that the Battle City arc doesn't translate super well though. I respect how much they tried sticking to the story by even including i.e. Jean-Claude being a weirdo and the power of friendship preventing death by drowning. But shit just doesn't hit the same through a bunch of text. And the couple of sentences they devote to it do not tell the story of Joey dying the second he was about to beat Merrick. But hey, I can't really blame him. I don't think there's much more you could get out of the GBA. I do in fact blame the developers for the lack of directions at times though. And that feeling like your main objective is looking for the plot. It's not horrendous or anything, but talking to a random NPC to unlock areas, finding Merrick in Grandpa's shop of all places, or beating every duelist in the aquarium area before Mako Tsunami is willing to face you, aren't exactly the most intuitive plot instruments, you know. You do get to see a lot of the world and its characters that way though, and I'd say that's definitely worth something considering the way this looks, sounds and feels. It's no secret that I like this crusty and old aesthetic. The limitations of the GBA define the vibe of its games to a certain extent. I love the static as fuck, bunking into everything, zero interactions areas, the small PP character models, and the crustiest of crust, card art. This is literally unrecognizable. Thank fuck I'm not illiterate. The character portraits and little torso figures shown during the end credits have a special place in my heart though. The eye and mouth animations, they're just peak animation, honestly. Isn't that right? Tristan having an aneurysm?
Pot of greed? What does it do?
I've seen people talking about the music, sound effects and tunes of nature being monotonous and shit. But like, no. This is great, actually. I think the music as well as the birds chirping and the waves flowing are pleasing to the ears, especially considering the hardware this game was made on. With how often I've beaten the game over the years, it truly says a whole lot that I still think the card menu and battle music absolutely slaps. And it goes without saying, and that's what you spend the majority of your game time listening to. If you want to hear my 2 cents, I think it's a pretty good game. If it was the sole Yu-Gi-Oh game out there, I probably would have complained about the 4 to 5 hour runtime, and the lack of difficulty, and the poor translation of the story. But it's not. Among the small warehouse-sized pile of Yu-Gi-Oh games, it instead is a noob-friendly take on Yu-Gi-Oh, allowing you to experiment with whatever the fuck you want, without truly getting punished for it. With it taking place in a world that sticks as true to the Battle City arc as possible, allowing you to walk around its beautiful yet crusty as fuck world, giving you some good musical food for the ears to enjoy. It's a typical long drive or flight to destination, low effort but high enjoyment type of game, any kid, adolescent or adult, would have a fun time beating in 1 or 2 sittings. Yu-Gi-Oh! The Sacred Cards might not be a challenge, but it most certainly isn't a bad game.